5 smart home ideas at work. I'm a technology buff and I tend to, I guess the word is hack technology. So here's 5 things that I've done that have pushed technology to the limit. Number 1, first I want to point out that technology that I use is Amazon and Wi-Fi is required for any of these devices. So number 1 is the Blink outdoor camera. I use these at different locations, and the real trick is to have those on the same account. You can have them in different states, which is what I do, but they're all on the same account. I first bought one of these for my dad to put outside and to be able to show anybody that drove up if he wasn't home and know that somebody came around. Then we added one inside, and I put it in the kitchen and had it to where we could look at who came in the back door, which was his main door he went in and out of. And we had one in the living room that would point down the hallway towards his bedroom, so in case he fell or something happened, I would see it. So they started out kind of being as a safety net, and they really turned into something more. So I have some at my house too. And I have a long driveway, so I have one so I can see if someone's coming up the driveway or came up the driveway while I was gone. And I live in a completely different state. We're talking about Virginia and Pennsylvania, and they both show up on my phone just the same because it's on the same account. They use lithium batteries. They've exceeded my expectation. The batteries have lasted for over 2 years, and I replace them with lithium batteries when I do replace them. So that works really well. Number 2 is Sengled Smart LED bulbs, and that's SENGLED. I chose those because there's no hub required. Many smart bulbs that you look at have different equipment that's needed, and I didn't want that. So I have one in my living room floor lamp, and it automatically turns on when it gets close to dusk, which is, it figures out by the sunset. And I can also say, Alexa, turn living room light on or turn living room light off. It helps so I don't have to fumble for a light switch if I come home after dark. I also learned that these need a good Wi-Fi connection. I tried buying some at my dad's where he just has Verizon dial-up, and they couldn't be supported. So you do need good Wi-Fi in order to use them. I did put some in a dining room light that takes 3 bulbs, and it's not as easy to turn on and off because I'd have to say turn on dining room light 1, 2, 3, and it's too time consuming. So I turn that on and off at the light switch, but I use the app on my phone, the Alexa app, to dim the light. So I might want the light to be 50%. So I can dim all 3 of those on my phone. If I want to dim the living room, I just say, Alexa, turn living room light to 50% or 30% or whatever. Number 3 is the Honeywell smart thermostat. Initially, I installed a smart thermostat to save energy, but I discovered there's more to it than that. Because I added it to my Alexa app, I can ask what the temperature is. I can change the temperature. I can say, Alexa, change temperature to 68 degrees. Alexa, turn temperature to 74 degrees, just by my voice instead of having to mess with the thermostat. I also have a routine set. Because I have a schedule on the thermostat itself for when it turns to certain temperatures. I have it come on at 8 in the morning and go colder at 11 at night, depending on whether it's heat or air. I can say, good night, Alexa, and it will turn off the living room light, and then it will go ahead and set the thermostat back. So even though it'll go back at 11 o'clock, if I go to bed at 10 o'clock, I can say, Alexa, good night, and it'll do both those things. So Number 4 is the Alexa device, the Echo. The first one that came out, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago maybe now, was a tall cylinder. And I bought one for my dad for Christmas, and he didn't really know what to think. He does like gadgets like I do, so he was intrigued, but he couldn't quite picture what he would use it for. So I suggested he just try it out for a little bit. And then I bought just a little dot for myself. So one thing we learned is we can use it for communication. So if he wants to talk to me, instead of picking up the phone and calling, he can just say, Alexa, drop in on Beth. Or I can say, Alexa, drop in on Daddy. We just named the devices those names to make it convenient. And so if he happens to call me, he might just call to tell me something funny. He might just call to check in for the day. He might call because he has a piece of news. He simply says, drop in on Beth, and the Echo on my end lights up. And if I'm here, I just say hello, and then he's automatically connected. And we can have a conversation and not have to hold a phone or tie up the phone or anything else. So it's been great. Because both devices are on my account, that's why that's allowed to happen. If it was on 2 different accounts, you wouldn't be able to do that. So because they're all on my account, I'm able to do that. So there's a lot of Echo devices. They've changed 3 times over the years. I think we're on the 3rd or 4th generation now. Now it's a round, completely cylindrical, or not cylindrical, a globe, completely all the way round. And there's Echo shows. So number 5 are smart printers. So back before Alexa and all, I bought an HP printer for my dad, and I bought one with the capability that said e-print. That was important. And what that is the printer has an address, and that address allows you to email it, and it gives you a dummy address, which is a series of letters and numbers that doesn't really mean anything. And so I gave it an address, made something that was easy to remember, and I could type a email and I could send it to that email address, and it would print out at his printer no matter where I was. And it kind of blows people's minds because he doesn't have a computer, he doesn't want a computer, and people say, well, why do you have a printer? Well, we use it just all the time. So for a while I was living and working as a contractor in Okinawa, Japan, and in doing so, we were 12 hours difference, so I might type an email what was going on, send it to the printer, and it would print out, and when my dad got up, he'd read it, and if he wanted to say something about it, he could handwrite on it, and he could put it back in the printer and put scan to email, and then it would scan it. He would choose me from the address book, and it would email it to me. So I would have a scanned email. And a lot of times he would do that with jokes. He'll send a joke of something he saw and thinks it's funny. Or if he wants me to look up something on the internet, I can look it up on the internet and I can send it to his printer. So it is extremely useful. You would just be surprised. So, what kind of things have you tried? What kind of things have you been afraid to try? Or what other things did you think about that maybe I didn't mention? I'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe and learn lots more. Beth Powell, Realtor.